Hey guys, what's going on? Josh from Houston Smash Network here. My guest today is none other than the most influential and humble Rosalina mains in Houston. He's ranked number 8 on the 9 on the Houston PR and placed 49th or 49th at EVO 2016. My guest tonight is none other than Go Smash's Tony Sherbert. Tony, how's it going, dude?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Hanging in there. So let's get started. So how did you get introduced to Smash?
Well, I first played Smash 64 with my older brothers bought the game, and I would remember playing campaign on that like forever, like playing Metal Mario and all that at the end of the stage. But I would like keep playing Melee, and well, specifically like Smash 4. Well, when it came out, I wasn't sure I was going to get into it because I was looking more towards like Street Fighter 5. But then I went to one of my friend's house, and like he had a Wii U, and he and his friends would play it all. And then I would play them, and like I'd be really competitive, so I'd try to beat them all, and then I did. But then like I didn't know enough about the game or the character I wanted to play,
Right.
So like I had to buy one for myself so I could get even better, even though I was already beating
Just
them.
to practice and everything like
Yeah.
that. Nice. So when did you find out, or when did you discover that there was a competitive scene in Smash? You know, like what enticed you to keep on going to these tournaments? You know, what attracted you to these kind of things?
The first time I heard that there were tournaments in Houston was from one of my friends, John. He's also friends with CH12 or Channel 12. It's Kevin. Some KSL people might know him. But he told me there were tournaments, and I thought that was really interesting because like I want to win those tournaments. So
Right,
like
of course.
from there, he told me what they were. I found it on Facebook. Like I joined the group, and like I kept getting notifications from them, but I never went to a tournament ever. Then one day I was like, I'll go to a KSL. And then I went to the KSL like 22 at Dan's house.
Oh,
and
that was way back when.
yeah, that was my first KSL, first weekly tournament, and that happened to be the one where Karna was banned. Or no, it wasn't banned. I think he just left. But yeah, that was the first one I went to, and like I wasn't gonna go back just because it just didn't really interest me at that point.
Right.
But then like I beat Remo over there, and then after that, Remo messaged me on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, come back because I want to play you and beat you." I was like,
You get that rematch.
Okay,
in.
yeah.
Remo.
So then, so then I went to more, and like I kept trying to improve and try to win.
Okay, nice, dude.
Yeah.
So, when did you begin to have such an insightful like point of view towards the game? What inspired you to gain that kind of mindset? You know.
Well, in all my endeavors, I try to learn as much as I can, because like when I think about life and like what we do, there's so much that goes unnoticed and so much that people don't learn. I try to learn as much as I can about everything that I do. So the same thing goes for Smash. I was more inspired to learn more about Smash specifically once I decided to get good and tried to be good and try to start beating people and winning tournaments.
Right.
The moment that I was inspired to actually try to like get on the PR was when Dan posted his like New Year's resolution thing on Facebook.
Right, I remember that post.
Yeah, he was like, if I'm not doing so much better at this point, I'm just gonna give up because why am I playing a child's game like for like 20 hours a week? But he's like still playing. And he was like, he listed people he thought that could be on the PR.
That could potentially be PR, and you were one of them.
Yeah, I was one of them, and I was like, "What? Dan really thinks that? That's amazing!" Like, I didn't think I could be on the PR at all. I'm like, "Is that really possible?" And then I started thinking about it, and I was like, "I guess there are steps that I could take that could bring about the result of me being on the PR." That's totally a rational statement to make, and so I set about doing it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your sponsor, Go. You know, how supportive are they? Since like you frequently travel to out-of-state events such as Evo, Big House, and little small regionals here in Texas, such as Impact, the one recently last weekend.
Yeah.
You know, like how supportive are they and everything like that? You know.
Yeah, they're really really supportive. Like just whatever I want to go to, they're like, "Yeah, Tony, let's go." Like. Let's go to Evo. Let's go to Big House. Yeah, I got you. And I'm like, awesome. This is great.
Nice. Yeah. Like when I had them on the show, the Go crew and everything, like, you know, they had that kind of like that sense of family, you know, like everyone's like so close and together and like just very supportive of each other.
Yeah.
You know, like I really like that kind of dynamic that the Go Smash like promotes. You
Yeah.
know? So yeah, like I'm glad that they have you on board, and
Yeah.
you know, to go out and represent Go and Houston
Mm-hmm.
once you go out. So I mean, I admire that. So
Yeah.
cheers to you guys.
Yeah.
And you know, I've noticed that once again that you've been traveling. You know, do you think that the out of state experience has improved you as a player?
Yeah, definitely. Because there's only so many good players here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody that can provide the most valuable matchup knowledge for me are people like Wall and Trella and Germ. They're all very good at their characters, and Wall and Trella being the best at their characters. But we don't have like a really good, like, let me think, like Corrin. They got Cosmos over in Dallas.
Right, it's so scattered, you know.
Mm-hmm. And they have Shade in San Antonio, the Captain Falcon player. So like playing them as well as going to Big House and like playing a bunch of people there. Like at Money Match Fatality, I got bodied hard, but like I started learning as much as I can. So learning matchups is super important to getting good. And so yeah, I've definitely like learned a lot from traveling.
Right. So like, what specifically have you learned? You know, like I understand traveling, but like little things that you can like improve and tweak onto your game. You know, like what are some aspects that you've picked up along the way traveling?
So one of the biggest moments where I increased my capacity to learn was when I played JK at Big House. JK is like ranked number 3 in Vegas. He's a Bayonetta player, and we went to the 24-hour friendlies room at Big House after I think like day 3 of the tournament or day 2. But there was this player, the Great Gonzalez, there. He was his Nest main from I think New Jersey or something like that. But he was just beating everybody. He would money match everybody, and he would beat like almost everybody. He was up $311 when I last saw him. Yeah. So and then I saw a JK like in the back, like drunkenly yelling at people. Like it was like, where's y'all's notes? Why y'all listen to him? After game 1, where's your notes? Why aren't you improving? Like,
Right.
Why aren't you beating him the next game?
You know, giving them like stern like scoldings.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. So I was like, okay, I know this guy. Like, I don't know who he is, but he seems like he's really on the right track to being good, or he is good already, and I think I would benefit to play him. So I asked if he wanted to go play, and he was like, yeah. And then like we would play, and like I would be the student, he'd be the teacher, like the drunken teacher, and then he would tell me all this stuff. Like he emphasized the importance of Wi-Fi because your ability to play other good players on Wi-Fi, that's really good matchup knowledge.
Right, definitely. Like some people overlook the whole like, oh, don't play for glory, you know. Like, I mean, I think a good alternative to Wi-Fi is Anther's Ladder in a way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you frequent Anthers or anything like that.
Like, even though JK gave me the advice to do Wi-Fi, I haven't done Wi-Fi yet.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's so like for me, like I know it's like a meme for me, but like, everybody says like I see the frames, but like. Yeah, it definitely bothers me when there's lag, because like everything I try to do.
No, I completely understand, because I mean, you go to the setups and specifically, I mean, not just Wi-Fi, but like the specific like display screens that they have on like each player's setup. Like, let's say you have a crisp BenQ, right? I mean, which you do have.
Yeah.
And you go to a random, like Krebs calls you to like, oh, go to setup 12, you know, and it's like a really dingy like laggy Saniel, you know, like that. I understand that. What's it called? That lag is important.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it still doesn't compare to Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So eventually, I'll try to get over like my, lag Johns. But I mean, besides that, the other big thing that I took to heart that was JK's advice was that the whole game, like getting good at the whole game, it's all about matchups. So it's learning what your character's options, how they interact with your opponent's options specifically. It's not just your opponent has toolkit A and you have toolkit B, and his is good, yours is okay, therefore he wins. It's specifically what tools interact with what his tools, like how they interact, what wins, what loses, stuff like that. So from there on, like I'm starting to create like profiles for each character matchup against Rosalina, and like learning what beats what the game plan is, if I can fortress them out with like jab, star bits, short hop up air, nair, stuff like that, or if I have to bait them in neutral to try to approach me and try to get them to overcommit, like against Marth and Cloud, like especially against Marth, I can't really wall him out just because his range is
It's so large.
Yeah, it outranges Rosa like in every way, and he can get rid of Luma very easily. So I'm just learning like meta relevant matchups like at a national scale, like Diddy, Cloud, Rosa.
Like the typical like 10 characters that you usually see in like top 8s.
Yeah, so like national characters like that, as well as like local relevant characters like Yoshi because of the wall, and
El
Robin.
Yoshi.
Yeah, El Yoshi too. And then Robin because of Germ, and Villager because of BC. So like I have to learn as much as I can about all of that. So the way I do that is now like I focus on playing good players for many games at a tournament. Like I'll go to a tournament and not enter just so I can play like good people and then record it and then look over it. Like if they want, I'll like offer the money match, because like if I win the money match, well, that's good because now I have a set I can look over and learn, and also I have 10 more bucks. But if I lose, whatever, it was just $10, and now I have like an extremely valuable set I can look over and learn from. So it's definitely worth $10, you know?
That definitely.
Yeah.
Money match, guys.
Yeah.
And what's the next event that you're preparing for?
Let's see. I guess that would be Aftershock up in Dallas.
Aftershock.
So
what are some things that you're taking in preparation for Aftershock? Anything that you're studying at the moment, or learning?
So I think about trying to prepare for tournaments. The only tournaments I really prepare for would be like things like Evo and Big House, where I know what my first opponent is or who's in my pool.
Right.
In terms of like regionals and monthlies, I don't really take time to prepare for who I'm going to face next, just because like it's such a smaller scale, but also because the way I analyze matchups, like look over my sets, it's kind of slow, so I can't really force myself to change what characters I'm looking over next.
Right.
I just have to keep going with the one I want to. Like at one of the Go Smash House tournaments, like I lost to Twee like really hard. Like I got bodied. Like you got yeah, he 6-0'd me in like grand finals. The last game was like a 3-stock, and like I have all 6 of those games, but like I haven't even looked over them yet. Like just because I already have such a huge backlog of matchups and characters to look through.
Right.
And like data to compile. So it's just whatever like I set my mind to right now. Like right now at this moment, it's Sonic and DDD. Sonic because I played Brawlman a bunch at Big House, and also I lost to SB, and that was a really good set for me to learn from. And DDD because I lost to Whiteout, because DDD is like, who plays DDD and is good with them is Whiteout, and that's basically it in Texas.
Right. So what are some goals that you have for yourself, as a player or as a person in general?
As a player, I want to become a more skilled player and be recognized on a national scale. Beyond that, my goal is to win a bunch of national tournaments.
Right.
Like, I remember telling Dyer that. This is Diddy Kong from Central Florida. And he was like, so wait, you just want to win a bunch of national tournaments? You don't want to be the best? And I'm like, how do you define being the best? And he was like, oh, you're right. Yeah. So, I mean,
that's deep.
That is a way. I mean, like, that's what it means to be the best, win a bunch of national tournaments, 0, 1, 52 tournaments in a row.
Kind of have the results to back it up,
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that goal is kind of far away from now, but I just have to keep doing what I'm doing right now and keep learning and figuring out what I'm doing is wrong. Like, not just what I'm doing wrong in-game, but what I'm doing wrong in my learning process. And because you can fix both of those things. People don't realize to get good at playing Smash, you have to get good at learning first. And learning is really, really important.
Of course.
Yeah. Goals as a person? I want to get back into powerlifting. Yeah. So, like these past 2 weeks, I've started lifting weights again. And, like, I really want to get my deadlifts to beat my old record. My old record was, like, 501. So, I want to get it up to 600. So
nice.
I want to
up that 100 pounds.
Yeah,
nice, dude. Well, good luck on that. I know that powerlifting does, like, it takes an extreme amount of time and effort and stuff.
Yeah.
But, when you're dedicated, you find a balance in your schedule.
That's funny because, like, after I graduated high school, I, like, I procrastinated like signing up for college, and I just missed a whole year. But like the thing is, I missed that whole year. Like I didn't work either, but I just powerlifted, and that was it for a whole year. I just went to the gym, lifted, and went home and like ate, and just watched like I don't know anime or something like that, and then went to sleep and I
It
lifted
must
more
be
weights.
nice.
Yeah.
It must be nice.
It was super
It must
fun.
have been nice, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks, guys. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna come back on the Facebook Q&A segment. So stay tuned. Hey guys, what's going on? Josh, aka 1PC, with Tony. We're back again. Thanks for sticking around. And so we're going to enter to the Facebook Q&A segment of this interview. So we're going to start off with, let's see. Let's start with the wall, dude. So where did Tony get his legendary baking skills from?
Oh, okay. So like I said before, I have like a competitive spirit. So one day, one of my old friends, like for fun, made like a baking competition at our house, and I was like, competition? Like I need to win. So like I made a cake, and it was terrible, but it tasted good. Like it looked terrible. It was supposed to be like a tie-dye cake on the inside, but like I mixed up the food coloring that came with the packet with some other ones, and it made it brown. But it tasted okay. But from there, like I had already walked into the baking aisle, and I saw everything. It looked really, really nice. Like bright colors are cool. So from there, like we're tie-dye all the time. So yeah. So from like there, I was like, all right, I have to bake everything that's in this aisle. And so that's kind of everything that I saw that I liked. I was like, I made that. Like I go online, I see what I like. And I'm like, I'm gonna make that cake, and then I did. And then I started selling cakes for like $60 or whatever.
Yo.
Started baking cookies for fun.
Tony Sherbert's Bakery coming soon. So, I mean, you answered this question again, but I'm gonna give Wormy this. What made Tony so determined to become better in his journey to, and how he got into the PR? But I mean, you already answered that. But let's go with how were you determined to become better? You know, like what's another factor?
Yeah, just to recap, before it was like, first of all, I have the competitive spirit, and then I saw Dan believed in me, like becoming better, and so that also drove me to get better. Another factor, I don't know. I guess this is just the thing that I'm doing in my life right now. Like I've done plenty of other things. Like I've baked for a while. I was in debate and wrestling. I took all of those seriously. I played piano for 6 years. I had a Rubik's Cube collection. I don't know, I did a bunch of stuff, but like I always did it. I did something amazing, and then I stopped. And so like for piano, I played for 6 years, and I had an amazing performance, like at my high school talent show. Like I got first, but it was like this big song that I've been playing forever. I did that, and like I haven't touched the piano since. So I mean, like, if in terms of Smash, like I guess if I don't know, if I win a national, like maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll just go do something else.
Right.
But like, it's just what I'm doing with my life right now, you know?
As now you want to like win. Mike, I think both of us have the same thing. When we're doing something, you know, we kind of want to do it like to the 100%, you know, as best as we can, so we can, you know, have some kind of enjoyment out of it, you know.
Yeah.
So, totally get you on that one. Another random. What's Tony's favorite flavor? Ramen.
Shrimp.
Yeah. All right, so Zolt wants to know, what's your opinion on the Houston Smash scene? Do you believe Houston is below average in terms of overall skill?
So, to the first question, the Houston Smash scene, like online on Facebook, it can be a real mess. Like, it could give me a headache to like read everything all the time.
I understand.
But like, the online Facebook thing, like I want to say that's not what defines the scene. You know, what defines the scene is like going to like the 8 weeklies we have a week and like going and playing with people. Like it's really fun. Like I love all the people we hear. The second question, what was that about?
Do you believe Houston is below average in terms of overall skill?
It's an interesting question because I don't know. I don't have another scene to compare it to in overall skill. Like, I guess you could divide it into what the top players are, like how many very good players we have. I think that would be like
Probably Dallas, if you want to compare scenes from us to Dallas or us to, let's say, San Antonio that has Mega Fox, So if you want
I guess the people in our scene that have like national level results, I think that's just Trella. Him and Karna have the only top 10 people wins. Like, Trella beat Mr. R and Karna beat Abadongo with that one weekly. When I went to Big House, I had this kind of revelation about the skill level of a lot of people. And it just seems like most of the mid-level players here, they have trouble paying attention to what's going on in-game or realizing that they have the ability to pay attention. I don't know. I don't know how to compare it. I would assume SoCal is just better because they have a top 20 that's all really good.
Oh my! SoCal, without a doubt. I mean, in my opinion, is one of the best regions here in this country.
Yeah. So I don't know. I can't really answer that question about a below or above average skill level. It's kind of weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Yeah.
All right. So Tony Herbert asks, I want to ask this question. How many tie-dye shirts do you have?
It's over 10 or something like that.
Over 10?
Yeah.
So what's the fascination with tie-dye?
My dad wore it. It's his fascination with tie-dye. He just wore it. I saw him wear it since I was a kid, and I guess he would just buy us a bunch of tie-dye shirts, and I was like, whatever, and I just wore them.
That's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Arrow's gonna ask, Muffin Man's muffins or Tony's cookies?
I've never had his muffin, but I'm sure they're great. I don't know.
All right. Let's see. We're gonna end the Q&A session with Malichit. I'm sorry, Perry, I'm mispronouncing your tag, but he asks, I know we've all been thinking it. How long are your training or lab sessions?
I don't know. Whenever I feel like not watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I'll just watch anime, then I'll think about something that happened last week at a tournament. I'm like, what if this does this? Or, how do I deal with that? And then I'll stop watching, and then I'll just go look up the frame data, look up the spacing or the hitboxes, how they interact, and I'll just I turn on my Wii. I was and I'll blab it out. I'm like, oh, okay, and then I'll just turn it off or ignore it and just go back to watching anime. It's just whenever I have a question, that's about it.
What's the longest lab session that you've had?
I don't know, 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Because a lab session, that's vaguely defined, right? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I'm gonna assume
lab session as in, let's say, practice. If you want to practice your tech skill with Rosalina or any other any other secondaries that you have,
Okay, if I'm practicing trying to gain muscle memory,
right?
Then I've only done one really long session, which was about 30 minutes. I went on the Captain Falcon Discord, and they had a practice regimen, and I took all of that movement that they were practicing, and I applied it to Rosalina, and made more stuff for Rosalina, lunar landing fair, lunar landing nair, stuff like that. And I practiced it for extended dash dancing. I would practice that for 5 minutes, 5 minutes on, and then I'd rest 30 seconds, and then I would do some other movement, practice that for 5 minutes. Lunar landing, I'd practice that. Raw bear, turn around, up smash. But the most was 30 minutes. Doing it more would definitely benefit me, but I don't do it that much. Usually when I think of what a lab session is, I think it's just answering questions that you have, figuring things out, and I think in terms of that the longest was 30 minutes. Because it's 30 minutes of question after question and question
It's
after answer after answer. Yeah, that's a lot of mental power that
No, I understand.
Yeah.
So thank you for taking the time to come down and doing the show with me, man.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Do you have any shout outs or anything like that?
Shout outs to Dan for motivating me to get good, and shout outs to Karna for helping me to get good. Yeah.
Where can people find you at social media?
My Twitter is Tony_Sherbert. and I'm trying to post more stuff, but that's it.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching the one-on-one interview with Tony Sherbert. Catch him on the SFC VODs when he does come through.
Yeah.
But yeah, stay tuned, guys, and catch you guys on the next one. Peace.